Good afternoon, girls. Today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic to do with you and the other humans around us, and that is gender. Now, gender is a very misunderstood topic. When people ask what are gender issues in your college, our students and staff members, some of them reply, "What issues can we have? We are all women over here." No, that is not what gender means. Gender is a much more inclusive word. So let us understand what gender is. But before we go on to gender, let us go on to understanding what is or who is a woman. There is a very beautiful definition given by Simone de Beauvoir, the French writer, the French feminist, a philosopher, and in her book, a groundbreaking book, The Second Sex, written in 1949. It is written in French. We have the English translations by Chen Pashley. There she makes the statement that one is not born, but rather becomes a woman. How do you link it with gender? We are born and it says that you're a woman. Another child is born, a man. But is that how we are defined by society? No. That is what Simone de Beauvoir says. One is not born. It's not the biological reason, but it is the cultural factors, or it is society that makes us into a woman. It is the society that makes a boy into a man. It is the society that decides who is who. One is not born. We are born into a particular sex, but how we express ourselves is the gender. Now, there is something interesting called gender stereotypes. I can give you examples from fairy tales to show you how it works. For example, we have all grown up with fairy tales. Look at a fairy tale like Sleeping Beauty. Look at a fairy tale like Cinderella or Rapunzel. What do these fairy tales teach us? These fairy tales teach us that a woman has to just be passive. She has to just submit. Man will take care of her. Sleeping Beauty, well, she sleeps. Prince Charming comes, gives her a kiss, and then she wakes up. And this is what every young girl grows up dreaming, that one day a Prince Charming will come and give her that magical kiss and life will change for her. Look at Rapunzel. She is locked up in a tower. She has to let down her hair, her long hair, and Prince Charming will climb up that hair. And the witch, always it is the woman who is the witch. And who locks her up in society? Who locks her up in the tower? It is the society. So what do these stereotypes tell us? These stereotypes tell us that a woman has to behave in a particular manner. In other words, a woman is given a prescription. She has to confine herself to that. She has to follow those norms or dictates of society. Otherwise, she's not seen as a woman. She's seen as a rebellious character. In literature and in gender studies, we talk about the male-female binary. Binary means opposite, just like north-south, east-west, black and white. Here you have this male-female opposites or division. And you have to go back, when you talk about this binary opposition, we Westerners always go to the Bible and they say, see, the Bible itself says that Adam was the first sex and Eve was the second sex. God did not create Eve from the head of man, so she's not his intellectual equal. God did not create Eve from the shoulder of man, so she's not his physical equal. God created Eve from the spare rib of man, and therefore she's quite inessential. Now, so when men want to criticize women, they will say, the Bible says so. And then you have Aristotle. Aristotle always talked about the enslavement of women on biological grounds. He made the statement that women are born inferior because of their biology. And then you have Freud, who made his famous statement that anatomy is destiny. And these three people, in India we have our Manu, who has damaged the status of women. So whenever men want to prove that whatever they're doing is right, they will either quote the Bible, or they'll go to Aristotle, or they'll go to Freud, or they'll take recourse to Manu. And that is why you have this male-female binary, where the man is always seen as the subject. He is the doer. He is the active person, whereas the woman is merely the object. She is acted upon. She's just a passive creature who has to submit to whatever the man makes her do. And look at our advertisements. A woman is always objectified. She's commodified. So I would appeal to you young girls not to be taken or not to be carried away by these kind of advertisements where women and young girls are shown as passive receivers of whatever is dished out to them. And women in this continuing with this male-female binary, women are always seen as ignorant creatures, whereas men are seen as intelligent. Man is also seen as rational, whereas a woman is shown as emotional. When a man cries, what do they say? Don't cry like a woman. Don't be a woman. Because it is expected that tears should flow out only from a woman. Only a woman has to become emotional. And also, to go back to Freud, Freud has done a lot of damage. He's a great psychologist, but he has done a lot of damage to the image of women. It is Freud who says that only women can become hysterical because it's only women who have a hyster. Hyster is the womb. So because women have a womb, only they become hysterical, whereas man is very rational and in full control of his emotions all the time. And in philosophy, these are the two terms I've taken from philosophy. Simone de Beauvoir also talks about it, that man is transcendent. In other words, he can go beyond the confines of his home. He can go out and earn a living. He can do whatever he wants to. Whereas a woman is a domestic bird. She has to be within the walls of the house, and therefore she is always kept in an eminent position. Let's take a look at the gender symbols. Now, we've all seen it somewhere or the other. Do you really know what it means? Look at the female symbol. It's a circle with what looks like a cross, but it's not a cross. This is a symbol of Venus because it shows a mirror. The circle is a mirror with a handle. And this is to tell women that, look here, you are a homemaker. This mirror is a symbol of her domesticated life. Whereas look at the symbol for man. It's a circle with a spear. This is the symbol of Mars, the god of war. So men, as I said earlier on, they are transcendent. They can go for war. Even today, women don't become part of the fighting force. With great difficulty, they have risen. I think in the Indian Army, they are now allowing women to be part of the fighting force. But otherwise, women were going in as doctors or administrators or going into the education corps. So these are the gender symbols which you see everywhere, and this is the explanation. In the 21st century, dear girls, we have reached a stage of gender expansiveness. Today, we just don't talk of male, female, and transgender. We have gone beyond it. There is a term called cisgender. What is the meaning of cis? It is no more the same gender, but we are going across it. Cis is to be on the same side, and the opposite of it is transgender. We are going across it. We also have bigender, belonging to both genders, or you have agender, belonging to no gender. These are all expressions. As a woman, you are defined biologically that you are a woman, but as you grow, you can now make your choice that, well, yes, I'm biologically a woman, but I have a tendency to be more manly. And allow me, society has to allow you to be more expressive in a manly fashion. But today we don't approve of girls who don't have long hair, or we don't approve of girls who, wear overalls. We don't approve of girls who wear naughty boy shoes. But why? Why not? They are agender. They don't believe in either belonging to male or belonging to the female. Today, when I say that we have this gender expansive, it is no more the LGBT community. It is no more the lesbians, gays, the transgenders. We have gone on to the queers. We have gone on to the agenders. And now we have something called, for example, dictionaries are being compiled. For example, the LGBT community has compiled its own dictionary where you have a term called lipstick lesbian. And what does it mean? It means a lesbian who likes to be feminine in her taste. Because society believes that a lesbian is a woman who behaves in a manly manner. But so we have lipstick lesbian, where she is a lesbian, but then she likes to dress up and she likes to express her feminine side. So today we are not pigeonholed into just being male, female and transgender. Today we are allowed to express our gender. Now comes to a crucial question. I've been on many interview boards, and when I ask this basic question, what is the difference between sex and gender? People blink, because sex and gender wrongly has been used interchangeably. It's not the same. Sex is biological, just male or female. When you say what is the sex, it is a biological connotation. It simply means male or female. But when we say gender, it means all the cultural qualities and nuances that are attached to the fact of being male or female. Or it is what society expects of a man or a woman. What is gender identity? An internal sense of myself as a male or female or both or neither. I can reject it. I can partly behave like a male, partly behave like a female. Look at the kind of stereotyping that takes place in our society. And look at all the terms that are being used. Sentences are framed which will bring in this concept of gender identity. In Tamil we say Meesa Vecha Amla. Why? Only the man who has a mustache is a man? This is how we are wrongly brought up. And what are the things that women are taught? Karuppu thaan enakku pudicha color. Why? Because a woman doesn't have a choice. A man will say in a matrimonial ad that he wants a fair, slim, beautiful woman. But a woman will say, wanted a man who has good education, a good background. She will not have demands like the men have. So, girls, I hope I've given you a basic understanding of gender. There is so much more. You can read about gender in literature. You can read about gender in sociology. Do go ahead and equip yourself and be women with positive role to play in society. Thank you very much.